just do it, it'll turn
Yo.
out okay. Hey guys and gals, and I gotta mute my video real fast. It's talking time with Caffeine.
Yeah. Today's Caffeine is
podcast where we drink caffeine and we talk about whatever the hell we want to.
Today's Caffeine is sponsored by this brand that I won't name because I don't know how sponsorships work and all that. I don't want to get demonetized in this.
Don't worry. I'm not monetized anyways.
Me neither. Yay. Speaking of not monetized, I'm in a band. We make no money. So,
and that's why we're here today, to talk about the band. But first, might as well introduce my guest. And he is...
Benthoven, no relation. And I'm here to talk about music mostly. So if you guys don't know me, who I am is a guy who mostly appears on other channels, and it's usually the Dapper Dino channel.
Like this guy's
show, Kent with Bent. But I've been on, hey Dapper, what's up? I've been on this show once before, Talking Time with Caffeine with Tony Reed, and I've been on a couple other shows. And I do have a cool shirt here. It was the next shirt in my shirt thing. So it's on our Dapper, but what I should have worn, kind of want to show it off more anyway, is some merch, a little bit of Copper Magma merch. This is the hex code. What is it? Hashtag B87333, which is the copper code. Never Look Back. It's the line from one of the songs. My idea to put Never Look Back on there. The guy was like, hey, you can have whatever you want on the back, some couple words or whatever, free of charge, no extra. Because it was like some nephew of a coworker about it. So
nice. I was like to do that philosophy sometimes. Never Look Back.
Like, there's that line from that one song. I was on a Goblin Reads. Yeah, I've been on channel 2. So I've been anyway.
You've almost been as many channels as Erica has.
I've been on with Erica, but not on her channel. I don't think. But I've talked to her a couple times. So I'm one of the. Do I have content on my own channel? Yes. Look at it if you want. I mean, it's old stuff and weird stuff, and there's some music stuff. There's some Mario Paint music in there, just to see what kind of music stuff happens in this brain of mine.
Talking about Dapper's channel real fast. Give him a little plug here, but if you ever find a video that has both Kent and Eric at the same time, you and Erica could do a crossover.
Maybe. I will say this, and I may be misremembering, but I guarantee you I'm not. The name Eric with Erica was my idea when I was discussing, I don't remember why Dapper and I were talking about it, but I was like, what if you had... Because I was getting a little burnout doing it every week and working full time, and just I don't handle stress well, to be honest. And this hasn't been a very easy year for most people, including me. But it was kind of like, hey, can I take a break? Could you get someone else on? Maybe get Erica on. Maybe do like Eric Hoven with Erica or something. Call it Eric with Erica, and it was like a pretty good idea that happened. So we went with it. I do want to pull up and link to you and Dahlia, and you can play it if you want. You don't have to, but it's an old video from my channel showing some of the music I wrote before I wrote Copper Magma music. And let's see if I can find it real quick here. I'll have to just search my own channel because I do have an old...
That first dinosaur brain doesn't remember.
Remember that. Well, that's the details of exactly how the conversation went are probably muddy, but I do remember coming up with the name. All right, so this is, let's see. So I wrote a song. There was this movie you've probably heard of called Bowling for Columbine. I'm just going to link this right in this private chat here.
Yes.
And I wrote a song and I just called it, I couldn't come up with a name, so I'm like, I'm going to call it Bowling for Columbine too. It's nothing to do with the movie Bowling for Columbine. I don't know. But there's real quick some software called Mario Paint Composer, and you can put 5 notes per beat.
Oh,
Quarter
Mario
notes.
Paint. I used to play. I had Mario Paint for a while.
So I just did a little creative jingle, and I threw in a little. I tried to blend in like a melody from the London Bridges or something like that. Like I wanted to come up with some sound that would be recognizable, that could kind of get snuck in there.
Let's see if
in there. If not, that's fine. We don't have to show it. And I know Dapper's seen it. I don't know how many other people are.
Speaking of Columbine, talk about before we talk about when we graduated, and luckily for me, Columbine happened a year after I graduated. So I had just I don't know what the school shootings were before that. I don't remember them very much, but I just missed major school shootings. So I missed all the what's the word? I missed all the metal detectors and stuff, and ID checks and back checks of schools by a year. So I'm like, I was very lucky.
It was 99, right?
Yeah,
I think, and I graduated in May of 99, so it was, it was it was pretty, art school didn't do any different things, not that quickly at least, and we're far away. We're in a private school in Milwaukee, so.
The only major thing that happened when I was in school was the Oklahoma bombing when I was in my freshman year.
Yeah, I remember that. I was homesick from school that day. I was watching the news with my mom all day.
And I think the Challenger happened when I was in kindergarten. That really didn't affect school stuff that much.
I was told I saw that on TV, but I was too young to remember.
You're probably preschool age if I was kindergarten.
Well, I think it was because I was born in 1981, so I was like 4 years old, and I didn't know what's going on. I was playing with a toy or something, and I probably thought it was a movie with an explosion. Who knows? I don't remember. But
let's see if this audio works when I'm sharing it. I guess not. I don't hear anything either.
Oh, I can kind of hear it.
Oh, yeah, I hear it.
A lot of creativity in there. It's also a hot mess.
So you make this on the SNES or an emulator?
So someone had basically made a flash file out of it, I think, or an executable file. So it actually isn't from the game itself. It was directly from
It has 9 thumbs up and 3 thumbs down.
That sounds generous.
2 likes on Facebook. No, nothing on Reddit.
It does sound like, for me, it's coming through pretty bad. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like it's changing pitch too.
Yeah.
So
hopefully StreamYard can get this audio sharing down better. If I could just use.
For that song, it doesn't really matter though, because the song is so wacky that when it changes pitch like that, it kind of doesn't really change the idea I was trying to get across behind it. So. Bowling for Columbine didn't have a single scene of bowling. Just watch Kingpin instead. It's a good point.
Nice. Yeah. If OBS didn't lag my computer like hell, I would just use that.
Well, I did try to screen share. For those watching, I did try to screen share right before we went on, and audio would not work at all when I was screen sharing. I don't know why, but yeah.
I guess we might as well get to the main, to why you're here in the first place.
Yeah, the main event.
Yeah. How did you get into music?
So here's what happened. I had, I was what? Okay, so let's say, well, my dad played piano, and we had a little piano at home. So I just jam on it. I didn't really know anything. And then he taught very basic, like Every Good Boy Does Fine and Face and All Cows Eat Grass for like bass clefs and treble clefs and stuff.
I remember those things.
Yeah, and it's just a way to remember what notes are what, right? Because if you don't know, in music there's A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. They don't have H's. And
then they repeat itself.
And there's basically 2 steps between an A and a B. So it's an A sharp, and then a B. You could also call it a B flat, and then an A. There's a couple exceptions. There's nothing between an E and an F. There's only 1 step, and then a B and a C. So there's no such thing as a C flat or like an E sharp or anything. So you probably know it, or you don't know it, or you can read about it. But there's basically 12 notes in a scale. And then you have an octave, which is double the frequency. It's going to sound. I'm not going to say my voice is bad, but picture the song Somewhere Over the Rainbow, the first note and the second note. The second note is octave. It's doubling, right? The pitch is the same note, but twice as high. So anyway, which chord is best? It's debatable, and it depends on how you want to play it. On a guitar, I happen to really like some clean melodic D minor chords. Not bar chord, the open way you would play. I should probably have a guitar with me. There's one right there, but that's all the way over there. So
yeah.
Anyway, so I wanted to play. I was bad at sports because of asthma, and I was always littler than people my age growing up. So I couldn't run as fast or throw as far or whatever. So I wanted to play a different instrument than my dad. I tried a trumpet. There's only 3 things you had to press in a trumpet. So it's got to be easy, right?
Yeah. For me, it was kind of the opposite. In elementary school, we did instruments and stuff and singing and stuff. So middle school, we picked our elective, either band or choir. I'm like, I pick choir. It's easier to do my voice in an instrument.
Yeah, it is easier, and it costs a lot less.
Of course.
I forgot my voice. Oh wait.
Of course, the only downside is you can always repair an instrument. It's always a little difficult to repair your voice.
I suppose. But so I did trumpet in 5th grade for the first half of the year, and I mean, kids were getting pretty good, and I was like, I don't understand. Apparently, they were bringing them trumpets home and practicing, and I was like, that was just a weird. I didn't even think about.
Practice?
Yeah, and when I was in elementary school, I was like possibly the smartest person I knew. Because it's elementary schools, but some people struggled, but I just got like 100% on everything. I never studied. I didn't even know how to study. I didn't know what that meant.
I was the same way in school. In 7th grade, they accused me of cheating on tests because I never did any homework, but I always got A's on tests.
Well, so I'm talking like kindergarten through 5th grade, maybe. And then people were catching up and I was getting dumber or whatever. But so like the idea of bringing a thing home and working on something was completely foreign to me. They gave us these cubbies in the wall. I'm like, well, that's where my trumpet goes. How can I bring it home and keep it there at the same time? I don't understand. So I just quit. Then this girl I had a huge crush on was taking guitar lessons. I was like, I want to take lessons from that guy from our church. We'll be there hanging out, playing guitar together. I didn't know lessons were like private, individual. I just thought I could hang out with her more if I played guitar. So that's how I got into guitar. I had 3 lessons, didn't even play anything on the first lesson. It was all theory and like papers there was the one paper with a hand outline he had drawn perfectly and labeled which finger was which. So you could know what finger goes where when you're reading it. And that was just one sheet. I'm like, okay, but like, do I need that? I'm more of a just showing me what to do and I'll figure it out kind of guy. The teacher was not like that. So anyway, yeah, it took 3 lessons. I kind of stopped taking lessons because I was like, well, if I'm not hanging out with this girl, Well, I take lessons, but I was still messing around on it, and I wrote a couple songs that just kind of messing around, didn't know what I was doing. I'm like, that sounds cool. That sounds cool. And then a friend of mine was like, hey, I met this kid in 96. So I've been playing for a year, 95. And he's like, you play a lot of like these church songs, strumming the C chords and the G chords and the Ds. And what if you listen to this Metallica band? And I don't even know, I've heard of them, but like, so he kind of showed me what they did on guitar. And like, you can hit I really should have a guitar with me. You can hit the open notes in a way and palm mute and different techniques. And I didn't know you could do that with a guitar. And then I heard a guitar solo and I was like, wow, holy moly. And I just started practicing. And then I joined a band with my friends and they're like, dude, you can't do nothing. All you do is just, you're like a technical thing, but you got to put some soul into it. And I was like, I don't know what that means. I don't know how to do that. And I don't know. Over the years, there were times like deployments and stuff. I didn't play much. And
so
I picked it back up. But like,
so when was your first public performance?
That's a great question. We played. Our first band played in front of our church. Does that count?
Yeah,
about 100 people watching. And
we played public.
We played a song. I had written a couple, like a chord progression, and then a friend of mine slowed it way down, put it on keyboard instead, changed the pattern of it, and added a little bit to it, and made it like a worship song for church.
Oh, so wasn't no Metallica heavy metal in front of your church?
No, but the lead guitarist, who was our other friend, played a nice, pretty sounding guitar solo that I kind of learned, and I still remember how to play that song. I have a weird, I think a big part of my memory part of my brain is it's like my short-term memory's gone. I don't know anything about geology or anything, but I remember how to play songs that I learned how to play in the past.
Nice.
It'll take over 10 years for me to forget how to play a song, if I go that long without thinking about it, because I just don't forget how to play. I can see it in my eyes are closed. I can just, I don't know. I understand my fretboard, I feel like.
I think there was some singers like that, but like, when I was going to church, when I was one of the youth director assistants, I think I remember going to a church concert that had heavy metal in it.
That would be a cool church, and I know they do exist. But when I started looking for one, everything was getting shut down because of COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Because I started looking for that kind of stuff pretty much this year in like February and March.
Yeah, for me, this was when I went. It had to be sometime in the mid 2000s. This was like almost 20 years ago at this point.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you right now, though, for me, the hardest part of making music is the making music, the writing of songs. And I could learn stuff so fast from this other guitarist back in my old band in 2000. I think we found in 2008, 2007, 2008, 2009, somewhere around there. We were called Buried in Ruins. We did some shows. We recorded an EP, 4 songs, and we had issues you'll have, but we played pretty fast thrash metal, and it was really hard to keep up. But I couldn't really write much. That was when I was finally learning how to write. So like, there's like 1 or 2 songs where I wrote part of it. But I was also starting to do, because that was my first experience as a lead guitarist. And I was like, I'll just mess around with this guitar scale I know and just go as fast as I can, and kind of remember all that training I did, the muscle memory I did way back in the day when I was trying to learn Metallica guitar solos and rhythms and stuff. So yeah, I ended up turning out to be a pretty good lead guitarist. The problem I have with it, and I think it's probably common for content creators, is when people are like, whoa, that sounds amazing. And I'm like, well, to you maybe, but to me, I wanted to hit these notes and I flubbed 75 of them or something like that, and it feels horrible to me, but they don't know what I was going for. So.
I know it's the same thing when I'm trying to write something. I'm like, people are like, oh, I'm thinking, oh, this thing sucks. What am I doing? Yeah. And people are like, oh, it's a pretty good story. I'm like, really? It is?
Yeah, but you get it though, because when you're creating art, and that's what this is for me. There are a lot of emotions I have that I cannot express through words. I can only express through a guitar solo, and I don't know if that's received by people hearing it, but for me, that's me putting it out there, and that is why I need to play music, because I need to express myself in ways, like I said, I just can't do with words and stuff like that. And I mean, I can through words, but not completely. You know, the music it's just a different thing, you know. And
so you make the notes, and your other band members put the words to it.
Well, actually, in this band I'm in now, we have we had three really great songwriters out of 4 members that all had their own style and their own unique way of doing it. And I think all 3 of us, myself included, and I'm biased obviously, but I think we're all really good at writing the style that we want to write and incorporating it with each other. Biggest problem with that is when you get that synergy and that chemistry, you just can't replicate that. And when you have a band member that unfortunately due to family problems has to quit and move to Australia to be with his parents as they're really old and frail, you got to replace that guy. And how do you find someone that fits so well? So that's what we've been struggling with recently, because we did lose our other guitar player.
The bass or the bass guitar or the
rhythm guitarist, and he is he's so stinking reliable on rhythm guitar. He'll say he flubs a note here or there, and he probably does, but like that dude is a rock, and you need to depend on him to just have that there. You can build around it, and he's just perfectly there all the time. And he would never miss a practice, and then he'd be like, "Oh, guys," and I can't do Australian accents, but he'd be like, "Oh, guys, I wrote a riff here," and then it would be like, "Oh my gosh, this is the best song I've ever heard, maybe in my life." That guy is. If he goes to Australia, which I think he's trying to get there, basically now there's COVID things getting in the way. I hope he starts a band with someone, because I think you're gonna hear his stuff. If it's just so good and so like radio, like
unless
some of the metal stuff is like, you don't really want that on the radio.
Can you stay with your band but just play from Australia?
Well, that doesn't work that way. Like, yeah. but he would send riffs and stuff, and he's just. I wish he didn't have to go. I get it, but like. And we had an issue with a drummer also, who was way too busy to stay in the band, and he had to leave. And eventually we found a replacement that was it was like that chemistry thing, you know. And the drummer who left is possibly the best drummer I've ever heard. He's phenomenal. And he's in another local band called Olden, Olden, and they do Viking metal, and he's so good. And they're good, but he's such a good drummer. But the new one we have is way better for what we're going for, because we were kind of moving to a faster towards the thrash direction, and we didn't really want that. We wanted more of a doomy, slower, more atmospheric kind of thing. So the guy we have now is definitely helping us go to that direction.
Every time on live, the phone rings.
I'm not going to answer it. It's not for me.
And I can't hear my phone, because half the time it's just junk mail on the house phone.
When will Copper Magma make a song on Klingon Hold? That's a good question. Probably sometime in the future, not in the past or the present. But I did get a message from my singer bass player today. He wrote another song in the last 2 days. we're writing too fast. We can't even record fast enough.
So what instruments are in your band?
All right, so the band consists of I don't know if people's last names are available or not, so I'll just say first names for now. Sam, bass player, singer. I work with him at the local hospital. He's a mortician, and we both work in the pathology department. So that's how I met him. That guy has creative vision that is just how can I describe it? It's really good. When he shows me some of the riffs he does, and I'm like, yeah, it sounds great. Okay. And then like 3 months later, I'm like, hey, this is my favorite song of all the 20-some songs we've written, by the way. It took me a while to get it, but once you get it, it's like, and then once I get it, I can bring myself to it, do my guitar solo the way I want to it, or throw in a harmony instead or something like that. And that way all the songs kind of blend together no matter who's writing them, because people are putting their own bass lines and guitar solos and stuff like that. So then there's me. I'm currently the second longest tenured member. You guys know about me. And then we have this drummer. The guy's name is Dion. We got him in April, I think, or May this year, maybe even June. And that dude he's just got that rock star. You know, he's just a rock star. And we were messing around once and switched instruments, and he played one of my songs, the song Bows on Dapper Dino's intro. And it took him like 5 seconds to figure it out on guitar. And I'm like, dude, maybe you should play the song, because you're standing there and you're like, get up and with your cigarette out and looking cool, and I just look like a nerd in sunglasses.
Yeah.
You got to have that stage presence. You don't want to be hiding behind a drum kit. But I do my own thing for stage presence, and people tend to like it. So,
yeah. When I was a videographer for my friend's band, I think there's 4 or 5, but they had guitar. There's these 2 guitars, a keyboard, and a bass drum, and a drum set. There might have been 3 guitars. I know there was a lead and a bass guitar. It might have been a rhythm guitar too. It was just, of course. Then again, the band members fluctuate a lot, so I forget what to play. But one guitar player and the one drummer was always there.
Yeah. Well, and for heavy metal, it's pretty standard to have bass player, drummer, 1 guitarist, or 2 guitarists. And you'll have a rhythm guitarist and a lead guitarist usually. But we would always be like technically, yeah, I was a lead guitarist, but if Adam, who we don't have anymore, but if he wanted to do some leads here or there, he could, you know, and we would kind of have to talk that stuff out, like, hey, I'm going to do this little harmony here or this here. And they'd be like, well, I'm doing something else here. Maybe you only do it in this spot. And then we would arrange that. So right now there's another guy that I don't know if he's officially in the band or not, but we've been working with him to try to get him up to par as a second guitarist, and his name is Cody, and he's got a lot of really good qualities in his creativity. And the issue we're having with him is he's brand new, and there's just so much for him to learn of the stuff we've already written, and that's gonna take a long time.
Yeah, so
basically, but for the new stuff, it's almost like we can do the new stuff now, because he'll be quicker at. It's a lot easier for you sometimes if you, I don't know, it depends on who you are, but for him, it's a lot easier to figure out, I know what I'm going to play to this, versus, oh, I have to learn that. Oh, I have to play it exactly like that. That can be a pain for people.
Yes,
but these are songs that are already recorded, you know, so it's like we don't really want to change them too much anymore. So
yeah, it's like sometimes you gotta start a brand new, fresh start with new band members.
Yeah, and it's tough. I mean, we've taught our drummer 6 or 7 songs in 5 months, and there's so many more. But like, there's songs that we have to have 2 guitarists for that we had to ignore while we were without a second guitarist for a while. We've basically been without a second guitarist since May, but he hasn't moved yet, so we're still able to work with Adam like once every 6 weeks or so to try to record some of the stuff he had written before
yeah.
He was supposed to leave in November. COVID and all that pushed things back. He's dual citizen. He can go back to Australia. That's my understanding, at least, at any time. But his wife and young child, they're American. He met her here and got married and had the baby in America. So it's a lot harder for them to get to Australia.
So no keyboard players.
No, we don't do that. I've talked about possibly adding a third guitarist or something else. I mean, I've said, what if we did this song clean with no distortion even, and like, do it our way. But yeah, they want to stay in the general now, and you kind of got it. But I will say this: our bass player is a classically trained piano player. He has a degree in some kind of music, and I've heard him play a piano for about 10 seconds, and it's just wow. Yeah. And he's got I forget which hand is which, but Bach, B-A-C-H, and then Rock, R-A-C-H, for Rock. Is it Rachmaninoff? I think is the pronunciation of the classical pianist. Even the first song the band wrote before I joined is borrowing from I think it's over 100 years old. It's a piano piece. I think it was from an opera. It's Dodo's Lament by Henry Purcell, I believe.
Yeah.
And the song is called Lament, so it's kind of based on that. And the line "Never Look Back" from the shirt, which I've showed before, I'll show it again, is from that song. Again, coppermagma.com. Free downloads of all the music forever, as far as I know.
Links in the description below. It will be, so I type them in there.
If Copper Magma were a fruit, which one would it be? Probably, I don't know, like the star fruit, because we're full of stars.
Yeah, I think we have. I think the reason we have a keyboard in our band is that's we practice at his house. We did help to practice. He had a keyboard.
We practice in a studio, a rehearsal studio, where we can play as loud as we want, any time of day. Basically, you rent a large room, and that really helped us step things up, because what Copper Magma lacks in speed, because a lot of metal musicians want fast guitar. I don't really want that. I can't keep up and play it to my satisfaction. I'd rather just play slower stuff, and the key is to be really loud. So I have a pretty big setup, and I usually use 1 out of 3 amplifiers. But ideally, I could use all 3. But that's a lot of money worth of equipment, and it's not like I just spent it all at once. It took decades to save up and acquire equipment slowly. But yeah.
So how did you come up with the name?
The name Copper Magma?
Yeah.
That's a great question. It wasn't my idea. It was Sam's idea. So this part of the country has pretty extensive copper mines, even further south. I mean, I'm in southern Arizona, Tucson. It's a couple hours north of Mexico. And there's a lot of copper mines in this area. And there was a company called Magma Copper, and they were drilling and extracting copper. I don't really know much about them, but Sam knew all about them and wrote a little thing about the company in the band's description, like an older description on our Facebook when all we had was a Facebook page, and decided I like that name. I'm taking Magma Copper and switching the order. Copper Magma. We're copper. We're representing our region of this planet and the geology, and it's sludge music, which is kind of like a mixture of thrash metal and blues and dark metal and black metal and all this stuff, and it blends them together. And he does this thing on stage, big melting pot, And what comes out is copper, and it's magma from the earth, and that's the whole theme behind it, you know. So we're trying to be heavy and like, you know, because like metals are heavy, you know. I don't know. It's just a theme, and I like the theme. But I don't really come up with that kind of stuff, but sometimes I can contribute to that kind of thing. Sometimes I really buy into the copper thing. I get copper. I have it all over. I mean, I have chunks of copper here in front of me that were gifts from me to me. I'm probably going to get Wilson's disease if I don't be careful. That's a disease when you have too much copper in your body.
I joked earlier about you can have another band, a tin band or a zinc band to form brass magma or bronze magma.
I like pewter, actually, so I don't know if there's any copper in pewter. I think it's tin and I forget, but yeah, I don't know. Copper it's a pretty useful element. It's pure.
I think it might have been one of the first metals that we might have worked with as humans.
It's possible. And you know, it's I like it. So I like the music we do, and yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. It's just a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, and it's good to be able to express yourself musically. And it's kind of nice to play on stage and have people stare at you and go like this, because that's what people do. Because they're just they're waiting for their turn.
So
there's no one there but the other bands and their significant others. And so, at a bar, the regulars at the bar.
So are your audience ever rowdy? Ever have a rowdy audience?
Yeah, one of the best shows we did was at a house party, and there was like no room. Like I'm standing here playing, and this dude's like right here, and like next to him is the other guy, and then there's a wall, and there's a wall here. Like this whole room here was about as big as the entire house we played in, and they're college-age kids, and they were just packed, and it was like, let's do it. And we start doing a song, and we're playing, and I'm looking up, and like mosh pit right here. It's basically the entire house and the entire room, and I'm like, hey, if they don't knock me over, I'm good. But one of the bands there, like their guitars kind of fell over. They got bumped, and like you can't even step to the side. That's how little room there was. It was kind of nice. It was a really fun show to play. It was the second show we ever did too, and we almost canceled it because this band coming from Phoenix bailed at the last minute. It's a 2-hour drive from Phoenix to Tucson, and if they bail, we're not sure what's going on. I happened to pull up early, get the text, and I was like, well, I'll go in and ask. So yeah.
So you mentioned you had a song for Dapper's intro. Did the intro come first, or did the song come first?
The song came first, and I don't remember what happened. It wasn't like, it was kind of weird because like I had put the song in like a private Discord, I think, and I don't remember if I had added the Kent Hovind soundbite or not, but I kind of just done a little home demo recording of it, and then I watched the Dapper video and he used it, and I was like, all right, I mean, yeah, you've got my permission to use it, but like, I didn't know you were going to be using it, and it worked really well.
Be like, you're nice. You're like, okay, where's my $2,000 royalty? No, kidding.
No, I don't care about that. That doesn't matter. But and it was a song. That's a song that I wrote every stinking note to that song. Which there aren't too many songs like that. Usually they're somewhat of a co-write. But I had in some software called Guitar Pro, I had put in drums, bass, and the drums are, I put in a basic drum track. So when the drummer expands on it, you know, whatever. That's what I hope he does, you know, or she, but in our case, it's a he. But the bass line is basically what I put in the song, and the guitar solo, I didn't know exactly how I wanted it to go. So I just kind of was like, well, this isn't right, but it'll have to do. It's hard to put it in the software. And And then when I recorded it, yeah. So I know the song exists somewhere. Is there a way we could maybe play it in its entirety or something? Or is that not a good idea?
I guess we could. I guess we could try play it through the outside speakers.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we could link to it, but I don't know where it is online.
So you ever? So you work in a hospital, right?
Yes, I do.
You ever play music for the patients?
No, I haven't. But I've talked about it, and we've talked with one of our department heads. He heard the music. He actually went to one of our shows, and he's in close to retirement age, elderly Indian gentleman, thick accent. He was a surgeon. Now he's a pathologist, and he's about ready to retire. And he's listening to the music, and he's like, very nice. I don't want to take people's accents or anything, but like he really enjoyed it. And he's like, you should play at our next pathology gathering. And then COVID shut all that down.
That's my next question. You say Indian, like from India or
from India? Yeah, he's
Native American.
I mean, he was a surgeon for a while and then a pathologist. So I work with a lot of doctors, so they're almost all really nice people. It's great. But yeah, and then there are loudspeakers in the morgue, and so when I'm at the end of the workday with my buddy cleaning it up in the morgue with him, sometimes I'll play a song over the loudspeakers. Hey, listen to this recording that we had done, because we're working on recording, and the EP is a professionally done recording, which we weren't. I mean, it sounds great, but there's some bass volume wasn't how we wanted it. You know, there's things we can't control that we wanted to sound a little different. And now that we're recording on our own, it sounds way worse, but it also sounds more raw and more genuine, however you want to describe it. And with our genre of music, usually the recording quality is kind of supposed to be like that. So it's a lot cheaper to record that way. Honestly, I wish I would send you like maybe some sound files that you could play, like MP3s or something. That could be kind of quiet, because that could be.
Maybe ever do a part 2.
Yeah, we should work on that. That's on me, because I didn't think about planning any of that.
Hey, did you ever play anything when you were in the Navy?
Yes, I was in a band called Buried in Ruins, which is there's 4 songs we recorded, and they're on my personal YouTube. We never made a band YouTube because it wasn't really like a thing that, it was 10 years ago. YouTube was around, but it wasn't really. I think there was still the 10-minute video limit and all that.
Yeah, I remember that.
There may not have been, but I think there was. But we would have occasional free time on deployment. We had this far away space locked away where we could store our band equipment and play really loud. But that was a lot of we weren't really writing then. We were more getting in sync with each other and covering Metallica songs, really. But, you kind of need that if you're starting a band and you haven't really played with each other much. If you can't write originals, at least you can play covers and kind of know, all right, he'll do this when he's going to this part, and I'll kind of pick up on those subtle cues, because then when you're doing original stuff, you kind of know which direction it's going and where to go and when to go if you get lost. And that's a thing that will really make your sound a lot better when you're all playing the same thing at the right time. If you mess up in a certain way, it can be really bad. It can make
harmony in bands? What?
We had a song, an instrumental, that is in 3/4 time signature. And for whatever reason, and this is my current band, every drummer we've ever used has had trouble. They'll do the 1, 2, 3, and then they'll come in with a 1, 2, 3, 4 beat. And we're playing in a 1, 2, 3 beat. And like rehearsals are like, dude, we have a show in like 2 days. You can do all this crazy stuff, but you can't count to 3. And it's just a thing, like you kind of feel it, and if you're not used to counting it out, you're gonna screw up. If I count out, and I'm depending on what I'm doing on guitar, I won't drop the guitar, but like I won't be able to do it. Can't count and do it at the same time. You got to just be there, and so it basically was like, I don't know. I mean, people struggle with certain things, and that was the one time we had to start a song over in a show, and it's kind of humiliating when you've done 4 songs and they sound great, and then the 5th one, and you do like 10 seconds, and then everyone stops, and you're like, "Bro, what?" And then you try again, and it's like,
Yes. So have you ever had to ever have an audience yell "boo" at you?
no, no one's ever booed me on stage. A lot of people just sit and look, and they don't seem to get into it, and then afterwards they'll be like, "Dude, that was so cool, that one song you did this," and you're like putting your stuff back in the car. Thanks, man. And you're thinking, that's like my least favorite song, but hey, people like it, dude. There's songs that were taught to me from this band that I'm like, oh, I like this one way more than this one. I don't hate any of them, but you know,
Yeah, people different tastes. Like I hate this song, but apparently it's the most popular on our album, so whatever.
yeah. And my favorite song was written by my bass player. He doesn't even like that song anymore. And he's like, yeah, I get it. It's a good song. I don't even like playing it. And I'm like, dude, it's the best song we have. and you wrote it. He's like, yeah. He's always taking songs he wrote. Dude, he wrote a song called Copper Magma. Showed us 2 songs. One was called Copper Magma. We did the other song first. I forget which one that was. Ended up changing the name probably. He scratched the song Copper Magma, revamped it into a different song, which I think turned into Dust, which is my favorite song. And then the Copper Magma became the band's name. Before that, we were called Darkshine, all one word. And the one guy was like, I want to call us Dark Sunshine. And the other guy was like, no, I want to be Darkshine. And the other guy is like, well, what about Copper Magma? But the other 2 were like, I don't like this. And I wasn't even in the band yet. So once I joined, and then the guys who didn't like Copper Magma weren't in the band anymore, he's like, all right, we're changing the name to Copper Magma. I was like, all right, cool. It's a cool name. I like it. Doesn't flow off the tongue as easily as Darkshine, because he could say, Darkshine!
I thought maybe you're the tiebreaker. Okay. I'll be a tiebreaker vote.
Copper Magma's a cooler theme to me. Darkshine, to me, it's like, why not make a joke band called Sharkdine? We're just switching things around. Sharks gotta eat too, man. I know it's a stupid joke, but Darkshine is an okay name. Dark Sunshine is terrible. I don't know. I just want to play guitar. I want to express myself, and if they're gonna call it Darkshine, so be it. But Copper Magma's cool.
So, is there a singer in your band, or are you just instrumental?
We are a vocalized band. Our bass player sings, and he has. For a while, he kind of struggled to find his sound vocally. So the EP we have, there's a lot of yelling and screaming in it, but he never really loved that way of singing, and he found a different way to do it. And so the newer demos are just a completely different vocal style, and they sound. He was always saying, I want to be like quieter, but in the fabric of it, but kind of like. The guitar should be at the forefront, and as a bass player, I'm like, yeah, you want to make my guitar at the forefront? I'm cool with that. I'm not going to complain, but he really couldn't get a good mix from the studio, and the screaming style of singing doesn't really seem to work that well with it. I think it works fine, but some of the tracks we have, the vocals are a little quiet. I'll say that. But now with the new demos, it is quiet, and it does blend in with the fabric, and it sounds like exactly what he was trying to do. Like I said, the guy's got this vision. I couldn't quite picture it, but now that I can hear it, I'm like, okay, if that's what you're trying to do, that sounds amazing, and keep it up. Not that I didn't like his old vocals, but there were people that don't like. There's friends, coworkers, a lot of people I know have an issue with screaming vocals. Even people that like heavy metal don't like. A lot of them don't like screaming vocals. It's too aggressive for them.
Yeah,
and it's I don't really get that, but
I guess I'm I don't mind screaming vocals that much. I don't. It's like it's a personal thing. I just gotta. I like to understand what they're singing sometimes.
Well, and for me, it was when I joined the band, I was asked some questions, and one of them was basically about lyrics and themes and all that. And I was kind of like, I don't really know what you're talking about. I know songs have lyrics and they have themes, but like, I don't care about that at all. I just want to play my guitar. And throughout the months after that, I was like, you know what? I kind of like the themes lyrics. And I did write lyrics, I think, to one song. And I don't even remember which song it was now. But it's not one that we've recorded. I kind of came up with a theme for the song Black Hole, and I wrote the song, and it's the lyrics I think are really good. They kind of fit what we were going for really well. But as far as the creativity of coming up with lyrics, I don't really do a whole lot of that. I'm not all that interested in it.
You're just like, give me the notes and I'll play them.
Well, it's not even that. It's like, it's either give me the notes and I'll play them, or I want to play these notes and I want you to play those notes, or I think every song we do either needs a guitar solo or some kind of guitar part that's a little above and beyond the normal verse, chorus, bridge, intro, outro. Usually a kind of a guitar harmony, and it's hard to do that with only one guitar player.
Yeah.
But I'll compose those.
But you've never done a voice solo then?
Not on purpose. I mean, I've sang in my car driving to work and stuff.
Never professional. Never professionally.
So here's my, and again, you know how people's voices are. They always sound different to themselves and to other people. But my opinion on my singing voice is that I am tone deaf enough to think I'm hitting a note that I'm not hitting, that it's going to sound really bad. But it's almost like there's signs of a good singing voice there, but it's just so badly trained, or it's just going to sound awful to me, in my opinion. And I've never really sang in front of people much before. Not really embarrassed. Maybe I'm embarrassed by it a little bit, but it's not what I do. I don't do singing. I do. Yeah. I got a kazoo. Does that count? Like, I don't do singing. I do guitaring and bass guitaring. And
you ever had a kazoo solo?
There is a song that I know of by a band that did do a kazoo solo on a live version of one of their songs. I think the studio version, the first half of the solo was the guy's whistling instead of playing the guitar, and then he plays the guitar the second half. And in the live, I think he did a kazoo instead of whistling, because if you're running around and doing this on a guitar a bunch on stage, it probably can be hard to, get that exact pitch you want on a whistle versus a kazoo. That'd be easier, I would think.
Do you ever do any cover songs, or just you're all original?
Yes, we cover. There's a couple songs we covered. One is by a band called what's the band called? They're called Dope Throne, and the song is called Sludge Kicker. Now, the reason I can't remember, or it took me a while to remember, is because the name Dope Throne, I think, is actually a song title from a band called Electric Wizard, and I think Electric Wizard may have been a song title or a lyric from another band, which could have been like Black Sabbath or something. I don't remember the whole story, but basically, and we have a song that one of the vocal lines is Sludge Kicker in honor of the song Sludge Kicker. But it's a Canadian band called Dope Throne, and they're pretty cool. They do, it's, musically, it really is different than what I was used to, which, like I said, with Metallica, it's really fast, really complex stuff. My old band, Buried in Ruins, was kind of more of the same, some alternate tunings. And then now the sludge is like real slow, heavy, but basic, lower tune music. And you just, you're not in it for like the rush of how fast can they go or this or that. You're just kind of like, let yourself get engulfed by the sound. Just kind of feel the atmosphere and feel what they're doing. Nice and slow. There's another song by a very popular sludge metal band called Crowbar that we covered for a while. There's a song called "Falling While Rising." There's a really good harmony line in there. It's a lot of fun to play with another guitarist. And there's some other songs we talked about covering or had covered or worked on covering. Some Black Sabbath, we never ended up covering it. So Metallica, we jammed on it a little bit, never ended up covering it. So really, though, I'm liking the originals a lot. One of the first songs I learned, I didn't know it was an original. I thought I was learning 4 covers, and it was my favorite of the 4, and it ended up being an original song. And I was like, well, this is a band I want to be in then.
So besides playing music and making fun of 20-year-old misrepresentation of sciences, what else do you do for fun?
What else do I do for fun? Well, I have video games. I like watching sports a little bit, not as much as I used to. It's another thing because of COVID that kind of affected sports a lot this year.
I never really liked watching sports on TV. If I like sports, I'd rather be there in person myself than watch them on TV. So I get distracted easily, and I'm like, okay, I'm bored now.
Well, for me,
but if I'm there live, I'm like, okay, I have to watch this.
For me, it depends on the sport. Like going to a baseball game, I've been to so many baseball games. I grew up in Milwaukee, where I could ride my bike to the baseball stadium and pay $1 to get bleacher seats. So I did that a lot in the summer growing up, and it was fun with my friends, but you don't really pay attention. You're kind of just there having fun, and every once in a while if you're watching baseball on TV, you got the graphics up, you know what the pitch count is, the strike and ball, the score, all that. In a stadium, you kind of know the score, but you hear the announcers, And football is kind of similar in person. But now it's almost like it's presentation mode, and like if I wanted to play, I could do that, but I don't usually do a lot of physical activities like that, like gameplays, because just the people I hang out. Dude, honestly, I might be one of the very few, if not only, sports fans in metal. None of these guys like anything but playing music for the most part. These bands I play with, I mean, they dress in the long hair and like the leather, whatever, like all the time. That's how they dress all the time. And it's like, I don't even do that on stage. I don't look like I belong in that part of the scene, at least. So,
yeah. So you like video games? What kind of games do you like?
Oh, I like relaxing, peaceful, single player, go at my own pace games. I've been playing a lot. Yes, I'm a rock star. Okay, I've been playing a lot of House Flipper on Steam. It's not a rock star game. It'd probably be like Doom, but you're teaming up with the devil to kill the good guy. That's probably more of a heavy metal type video game. But that's what I do.
Yeah.
I play Factorio and Plants vs. Zombies.
I've done that thing.
Kerbal Space Program. I do like some first-person shooters, Half-Lives and Dishonored's and things like that.
I did a 7-hour stream of Plants vs. Zombies a year or two ago. Where I played the game from start to finish till I beat the final boss. I'm like, I'm gonna play this till I beat it.
Yeah.
7 hours later.
I watch speedruns on Twitch of Plants vs. Zombies. Even today I was watching one. Like, they're fun to watch. So what else do I do for fun? I mean, I got dogs, and I don't know. I like to try to learn Klingon. I like to try to take care of my yard and house a little bit. I like to relax a lot and talk with my friends on Discord a lot. And we'll watch movies together or watch each other's game streams and stuff. We used to stream to Twitch all the time, but you got to be in presentation mode if you're going to do it right, and you got to react with your chat. We just kind of want to chill and relax.
I know that's the hardest part about streaming for me. I'm like, pay attention to the chat.
Yeah.
Try to talk. Like, okay, so I'm doing this now. Or, how you guys doing? I'm like, I'm like trying the game. I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta talk.
Yeah, and I'm honestly just like an irritable person in general. I really am. So like, I don't want to be like, hey, Chad, how you do? Like, I don't feel like that, usually. So my brother, Duke Ellington, that dude could put on some good streams,
Oh.
and he never got a huge following. It's just, then you get too busy to do it, and if you're not doing it regularly, you're not going to get the viewers. So.
This is why I've been liking these new games I've been playing called visual novel games, and you just read what the words say. I'm like, hey, I can do this. I just have to do funny voices for the characters. Like, how y'all doing? I'm Maria. I'm Maya. No, I'm Okabe.
And you get people in your chat to like name characters and stuff. There's a game FTL, Faster Than Light. My brother streamed a lot of that. He's really good at it. And you can name characters, and streamers will like, oh, new subscriber, I'm gonna put you on the ship now. Change their name, and so like it's motivation for people to subscribe and stuff like that. Yeah, it's kind of cool. But I think we've moved past that in my personal group of friends, the Twitch stream. We do it every once in a while still, but streaming to Discord where we can just see it and chat and not have to be on presentation mode is easier.
I think your blanket's alive. It's moving.
Yeah, there's some dogs around jumping up and down in blankets and out of blankets. She's fine. She's fine. So yeah.
So I hear next week you'll be wearing something, a costume.
So here's the deal with that. Tomorrow is Eric with Erica, and I have a million Amazon orders right now. But as soon as we hit that goal, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, maybe you want to explain to them. But we hit a goal, and I made the order, and it's arriving by 10 p.m. tomorrow. And then, so it'll be basically a week before I'll need it. I'll be wearing it the whole time. And honestly, if this is all you can see, I'll stand up and do the twirl, but it's probably going to be on my head or on my neck or something for most of it.
Yeah, well, if you don't know this, on Dapper's channel, if they had reached $100 in a stream, Dapper would be wearing a tutu on his avatar. But if they reach 200 in a one stream, then Bent here will be doing it live.
Pink tutu. And the one on, let's see, did I just close the page out? Kind of dumb, like I said. So let me see. No, it's not that. I don't know where the page is. Let me pull it back up again on my orders on Amazon. It was a pink tutu. It was like $21 or something like that. What size did I get? That's the question. I hope I got the right size. It might be really uncomfortable, but I'm wearing it. It's Ellen's women's vintage 1950s tutu petticoat ballet bubble dance skirt, $20.99.
Yeah, like hopefully you get a kid size.
I'm gonna private chat link it if you want to screen share it. Maybe. I think I got the large / extra large. I'm not the thinnest guy in the world. I don't know how people view me, but I think like my what is the waist size is like a 40, and people would probably guess less than that if they saw me. I don't know. Anyway, I'll be wearing a pink tutu like a real man, or a fake man could wear one also, I guess. I don't know. I'm not going to judge. All I'm saying is we met the goal. I'm going to wear it. It's going to be awesome. I hope I don't get too hot and sweaty. And it's not a animated one. It's a physical real one. And it's going to be in 3 dimensions, not 2 dimensions.
So just the bottom half, not the top half.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to be top. I mean, it's not like it's the only thing I'm going to be wearing. For $500, I will wear only a pink tutu on a stream, although I probably won't be standing up too much. Yeah.
You're here, folks. Get $500 on Dapper's next stream. There you go.
All right. I guess. Sorry, I just had to send a text.
Yeah.
Look, I got all this family back home, and I'm like trying to Amazon them Christmas gifts, and like they're saying, "Oh, this arrived, but this didn't," and like just trying to clarify. It's way early too, so I'm glad.
Hopefully it doesn't arrive at some other. Send that like, Ben, honey, why do you send me a tutu?
Why do you send me a tutu? I sent that one to the family. Oh no. Anyway. So there's not a lot of people in the chat, but I was wondering if anyone else had any questions about music or Copper Magma, or I don't know. I feel misled. First of all, and secondly, yeah, sorry about that. Are you all right? Wasn't that funny?
Coughing and breathing.
Yeah.
Laughing. So you've been playing music for what more than 20 years then?
So yeah, 1995 was when I started playing guitar, because I had a crush on that girl, and I don't know. I think honestly, I'd have to. I think I could find her on Facebook, and I want to see if she's any good at guitar, because I probably ended up being a better guitarist than her. Probably. Look, she's a great woman, right? I'm sure, but like,
hey, remember me for 20 years? Remember me 30 years ago? I had a crush on you. Anyways, join my band.
Hey there. Would you like to join my band? She got married and had a bunch of kids, but hey, I'm a rock star now, so it's fine. Ain't no thing.
Speaking of girls and stuff, do you ever have any groupies?
No, we don't actually. We're particularly bad at that. No, there's so many bands in this town, in this type of music. Some is like one's Viking metal, black metal, this or that, but all these bands that I've worked with, everyone's. A lot of people are like married. I mean, people are in their mid 40s and they're like, I haven't played music in a while. I'm going to start playing again or whatever. And people are helping each other out. And like, so many people are in multiple bands also. So many people. I don't know how to get groupies. What we need to do is play shows in front of more than 12 people a lot. And then we'll get groupies. But
yeah,
people don't.
You mentioned that multiple bands. I don't know how people can do multiple YouTube channels with multiple bands. I can barely handle one YouTube channel sometimes.
Oh man, I was trying to do 3 bands at the same time a couple months ago. It's hard, and I'm in 2 right now. I play bass for another local group, which is not ready, approaching that, getting ready to finally do a show. Lots of talent there, but it's just been an incomplete band for so long. And there's some kinks we got to work out with. Hey, let's make sure we're all, if you're going to do the riff 8 times, don't do it 9 because it throws everyone else off. I'm just kind of figuring that stuff out. But really good guitar player in that band. His name is Moses, and that guy is so good at guitar. Way better than me, I think. It's a different style, maybe not, but like he's not worse than me. I'll tell you that. He's been playing a long time too. So drummer's been playing a long time. He's in a couple bands. We got a singer who we just can't get him there enough or loud enough to hear enough. But it's a lot of fun playing in multiple bands. It really is. I could do a lot of stuff on a bass guitar that I can't do on a lead guitar or rhythm guitar, and vice versa. So,
of course, you ever there at the same time in multiple bands? Okay, 3 bands. Okay. First set, I'll be playing the lead guitar for this band, then I'll be playing this guitar for this band for the next set.
Well, yeah, though, because not for me, but I want to do that because that happened with my bass player. He, like I said, he was in that other band, Never Reborn. And there'd be a lot of shows where like a band falls out last minute and those guys are already going to be there anyway. I'm like, yeah, we could fill in. And so he'll do a set with them for 30 or 45 minutes and then move to the middle of the stage and do a set with us for 30 or 45 minutes where he's actually singing. Now that other band, he did a little bit of backing vocals, but honestly, it was like, singing oh, a bunch of that kind of stuff. So I don't even know. Would you play a show at McMurdo Station? What is McMurdo Station? I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Do I need to know what that? I probably need to know what that is. Is that a thing from a thing? Let's see here. Google says McMurdo Station is a 404 error. No, it's in Antarctica. I mean, yeah, I'd be willing to, but the thing about that kind of stuff is the logistics of it. Like, hypothetically, sure, yeah, of course I would do that. That'd be awesome, dude. Melt the ice would be so loud.
Okay, let's start a GoFundMe.
A GoFundMe
to get Bent's band to Antarctica.
But yeah, I mean, we'd all have to get transported there and back with our equipment and meals and lodging and all that. Like, we may raise enough money, sure, but at the same time, I'm in a band with at least one person who's like, bro, we're not going on tour, right? This is a fun hobby, and we're not going on tour. And if it gets to the point where we're good enough to go on tour, we're going to have to get a touring bass player to go on tour and do the bass playing and the singing, because I'm not going on tour. I won't tell you who it is, but it's a guy who maybe plays bass and sings. And I don't really fault him for that. And I kind of agree with that.
This is my replacement.
I kind of do and I kind of don't. Like, okay, look, dude, there's so many great bands that are never going to be famous. And we're a pretty good band that's probably never going to be famous. So, like, if you're going to go on a tour, it's like, all right, it's, we're asked to join a couple tours. But you go on a 12-city tour across a region of the country, and it's going to cost you about $1,000 per person if you spend your money well. I mean, maybe you could spend it even better, but you got to pay for all the gas. You got to pay for all the lodging. You got to pay for all the food. And you're hauling heavy equipment too, so you can't just use your own little car. If you got a big van, that's great. If not, you might need to rent a U-Haul or something. And you might make $50 one night or $150 another night at a show, but all of that is already spent on gas and lodging and food for 4 people plus spouses if they have them. And like, yeah. So if you're getting sponsored to do a tour because you're that good, great. If not, it's really costly to do it. And some bands do it anyway. We had this band come from Europe, from Finland, and they did a 6-city tour, and they had to pay for it. And it's like, dude, that's fun and all, I'm sure, but like, no.
Be like for you, the next tour you have would be maybe a 6-block tour. Okay, we're playing this block this night, and next time we're playing across the street at that block, and then over there at the park, our public park.
Well, that's different because you're in one town, though, But like for me, it's like, if we could just turn the amp up louder, then we could play in one spot and everyone could hear. Obviously, there's some exaggeration and hyperbole going on there, but at the same time, maybe turn the guitar amp up louder.
Speaking of that, did you ever had people call you for noises like turn that music down?
Not recently. When we play in the rehearsal studio, we don't, you can be, the walls are thick and all that. It's a commercial building for, I don't know, maybe it was I don't even know what it was before. There were a lot of buildings that served other purposes there. There was like a restaurant that was a butcher shop, I think, or then there was a coffee shop. Anyway, and one of the places nearby was like a funeral home because my mortician buddy who grew up in Tucson, Arizona, was like, yep, that was a funeral home. And now we rehearse 2 blocks away from it or something like that. And like, yeah. So
you ever
and then the other band we play in his house, but it's like literally 1 street from the freeway. So
you ever play for a funeral?
No, but I kind of want to do. We have what's that children's song? Do 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 do. I never learned the name of that song. That little melody.
Lullaby.
It's some kind of lullaby, but I never knew the name of it. I just know that when babies are born in our hospital, that plays over the loudspeakers everywhere. And it's kind of cool, but at the same time, when you hear it 8 times a day, it drives you crazy. And twins are great because it's back to back. It's like, yes, twins, and I get way too excited. But what I was hoping for is that when a patient would pass away, they might play like a Copper Magma song, kind of morbid, probably more of a tasteless joke than anything. But it'd be like, da, 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 da. It's like, oh, that poor man passed away.
Speaking of this time of the year, you guys ever wrote any Christmas songs?
I was trying with a band that didn't really work out when I first came to Tucson. We were trying to arrange a song for Christmas, a metal style song for Christmas. And that band is called Altar Fire, Altarfyre. And it's a Christian metal band that's still kind of forming. They ended up breaking up and then reformed. And everyone's in a different state right now. And I don't even think it's a complete band, but they have a song that they released finally. And they have more in the works. And it's a very different style. It's very power metal. But and I don't have a link to the song. If you look up Altar Fire on Facebook, it's on there, and it's Christian metal, power metal. But that dude Aaron is a phenomenal guitar player. There's so many people I know that can play guitar so well, and it sounds really, really good. And some of the demos I heard when he first joined that band are like, this song, that first one they have, is okay. It's good, and the skill is there, but the song ain't really doing it for me so much. But the old stuff that I had heard him write was like, that's good, and it sounds really great to me. There's, I don't know, and it's subjective too, but there's a fast song that's okay and a fast song that's good, and they're not always the same thing.
Yeah. I was gotta say, I wish I had thought about setting my computer up next to my refrigerator.
This was given to me by my bass player, a spare refrigerator. And I was like, well, I could keep it in my garage, but I don't have a lot of space in there. And it gets so hot in the summer that I don't know if it's energy efficient. So I was like, I'll just put it next here, pull out some kombuchas when I want to. And I drink a lot of water, too. So fill up my water from my water bottle thingy. Which is just tap water after it's empty. And just fill it up with tap water. The thing about tap water is that I like it. It's pretty cheap. So
yeah, I use tap water a lot. I'm supposed to be using. I have a CPAP machine. I probably put the filling with distilled water, but I use tap water because that's probably a bad idea.
I would strongly recommend talking to your doctor about that, but probably not doing tap water because as someone who works in a hospital and I do a lot of respiratory, usually looking for cancer, but sometimes infection, a dirty CPAP can be really dangerous. You can get pretty bad lung infections, and no one wants that. Yeah, and I have a CPAP too. I just got one like 6 months ago, and I'm trying to do it without any water in there. Because, and maybe I'm being an idiot, maybe not, but I'm thinking like if bacteria can kind of grow in water, maybe if there's no water, it's harder for them to grow. And if I can handle it without like nosebleeds and stuff, I'm going to do that. And the air is so dry here. I used to get bloody noses for like 6 months when I moved here. I had to get a little portable humidifier, and eventually I kind of got accustomed to it.
Is that what the water for, is for humidifier then?
Yeah, I think so. Talk to your doctor because I don't want to give bad medical advice.
Okay.
And a decision, and I've been trying to get, because I need to get through the VA. That it's been 6 months, and I need some components to be replaced because they're supposed to be replaced after filters and all that aren't good forever. But yeah, you really don't want to get a lung infection. Pressurized air into the lung can, as far as I understand, and again, this is just kind of speculation on my part. I could probably put that stuff pretty deep in areas of your lung that if you're breathing and you need a CPAP and you're not taking deep breaths, maybe there's not normally a whole bunch of air in one area of the lung. But again, I'm not a doctor. I do work in medicine. Yeah. I might be just completely spewing nonsense right now. So we want to emphasize talk to a doctor about it. Or your CPAP tech, respiratory technologist or whatever.
Yeah, I have both. I have both asthma and sleep apnea, so I am trying to avoid the COVID as much as possible.
You and me both, man. You and me both. Asthma. This is the rescue inhaler. This is the daily. This is one of the best medications I've ever taken because I rarely get asthma attacks when I take this.
Oh, I used to have one of those
I
too.
get them all the time.
I used to have that one thing. Then they switched me to the disc one for the daily thing.
Yeah, I think one of the brands was So I have asthma, I have allergies, I have acid reflux, I have all the eosinophilic related. I had eczema, I would do this when I was a baby, and they put socks in my hands. There's old pictures I don't have now, but I saw them before. Hello, David Peanut. How are you?
Hey, we got second cast. Right.
Yeah! Doubling our fans, Copper Magma. That's kind of what it's like for a show sometimes, though. Like, you're playing and you're like, there's really no one here to watch. Sometimes there are not that many people, other bands and stuff. But it's nice when you're at work and you're talking about it a lot, and people are, oh, that song sounds so cool. I knew you played, but like, wow, you guys are really good. And then they finally come see you, and it's like, yeah, you like to put on that performance in front of people. So yeah,
we are good.
We are good. We are very good, I think. Do you have any questions about?
Anything? Now remember Dave. Like David. Oh yeah, he's gonna be on my show next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, yeah. I've seen him before. I don't know if we've chatted in the chat if I've answered any of his questions in particular, but I've seen him before in chats.
Sorry about that. Sometimes it takes me to be like, who do I know where I know this guy from? Where I know this guy from? Like Jeff Erica. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's funny. Sometimes people through other people like when I was still at church. I didn't know any of the adults. I'm like, oh, that's Nathan's mom. That's George. That's Krista's dad. That's Rhonda's dad. It's like adults have names. What?
Yeah. How did that? When? Okay, you say so. But yeah. So I don't know. Do you want to try maybe playing another song or something?
Sure.
That's what I would like to hear. The coppermagma.com song. There was a song that I mentioned earlier in the stream that Adam had written. And he's like, hey, guys, I was messing around on this thing. And it ended up being a quick write. He'd been working on it for a while, kind of keeping it between him and Sam. Then I heard it. And then like a month later, it was played for the first time as a band. It went really well. We played it a couple more times and said, hey, excuse me, I know it's Saturday. Let's meet again Monday. And then if it works well, put this song in our set on Tuesday. So it was a last minute ad. And then we recorded it 2 months later. And that's on our website now. Coppermagma.com bought the single.
Let's see. All right, let's see if it's to work now.
Yeah, let's see if it works. It won't work from me. I can't screen share and get any audio. It's gonna be loud too, so you have to.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do it the old-fashioned way and play it through the regular speakers.
Yeah, that could work too. It's not like anyone needs to see anything. Or that's me and Sam and Dion.
We'll try. I think I messed up real fast.
But yeah, you can download it.
Yeah, the link's in the description, by the way. But I always forget to click share audio sometimes.
That could be an issue.
First of all, I'll try it this way.
Yeah.
Okay, it works. At least for me, it does.
It sounds okay, yeah. I have to be quiet though, because when I talk, I can't hear it. I will say, man, hearing this music is therapeutic for me. It's kind of weird. Hearing my own music. Again, I didn't write this one, but it's therapeutic for me.
That's the problem with the screens here, I guess. I can barely hear music. That's more important. I can barely hear you talking when you're talking. So,
well, it's all right. I'll just let you do what you want to do then.
But yeah, download the single if you want. Go to coppermagma.com, download the single.
Yeah, if you want to scroll down to the EP, there's 4 more songs. If you want to do any of those, feel free. But the one I wrote is Black Hole. And you want to play the whole thing or just little bits here or there. It's all fine. This is the intro, which was my bridge riff modified by Adam, or the guitar player, with some cool guitar effects. So while I wrote this part of the music, this is him recording it on a looper at home and inserting it into the final version. Slow build, and then we gotta at least get into the first riff here. So I'm throwing in a higher harmony here. It's dissonant, we're doing a step and a half up, 3rd degree. It works, I think, when you want that morbid, dissonant sound. But these are old vocal styles too.
Nice. So what's these songs is the theme song for Dappers channel?
So that's not on the list, and I don't know. That's called Bose, and I don't know if it's online or not. I have to be able to get you a copy of it. Can I email it to you, maybe? Because I have an MP3 of it. Can I upload that to you?
Oh, pictures, videos.
These are some from the shows that we've done. Man, I was so thin.
Show more. About Copper Magma, musical journey. Immersing in that metal band and discount, heavy desert sound with nods to multiple metal genres. Million pop influences including Black Sabbath, the true intensive metal, Iron Maiden, metal made heavy, Metallica, metal made thrash, Slayer, thrash without the punk, Black and death metal, Crowbar, metal made the sludge, Iron Monkey, metal made the chaotic, inclusive subgenre of sludge, Sleep and Erectric Wizard, the heavy just Black Sabbath. High in the Fire, tradition, death metal, that takes particular blues elements, uses it in the metal. Copper Magma also draws influences from where music is created. This area being the ceramic desert, where it'd be the fauna visual area aspect of the desert as the offer. Copper Magma reaps that benefit. Saran, taken from the Spanish, has difference in the word sound. What better place to create sound? Copper Magma considers itself slag metal, a subgenre of sludge metal.
All right. That was written by Sam, and yeah.
They have a Facebook, an Instagram, a YouTube, and something else.
Other links. Which I think is just the external Teespring link. But it takes you to a link page, and then you gotta go from there. Of course.
Nice. So you want to hear more? Don't oh wait, there's the link right there.
Yeah.
For yourself.
And it says get track or get album. Does that mean you can download it for free? All you need to do is put in an email address. No, you don't even have to do that. Just click it, download it, burn it to disk, and then drive around in your car with it on full volume. and then take it out of your CD player and like toss it to someone standing on the street. Hey, you guys need this now. Spread it.
Like, yeah. Download it, just copy, put on your MP3 player or whatever. Just do it. Oh, speaking of that, have you guys made any quote music videos of your songs?
No, we talked about making one for the song Dolos, which is the second track there. And we had talked to some people about, I think Sam was, again, taking the lead on that, on like price. We were approached a couple times too, but like price options and things like that. And then after, like I said, after COVID hit, we kind of just stopped, you know, and it's
Speaking
it's
of that,
one of those things like, do you really want to put the money into it? You'll have it and it'll be cool, but what's the point? The point is to get famous from that, or what? Because we're not trying to get famous, right?
Yeah,
so it's like
just more or less not to get famous, but just to say, hey, yeah, just say
yeah, and I get it, and I care less about it than other things. But for me, like when I first joined the band, there was no talk of ever recording anything. It was just shows only. And I was like, well, I kind of like the idea of having a recorded, finalized version of it where it's like, hey, this is a thing that's official, and I helped create this.
Yeah.
To me, that's how I would see it.
Speaking of music videos, since you're about my age, you're old enough to remember when MTV had music videos.
Yeah, I do remember seeing them occasionally, a long time ago.
Like we're that age now. Back in my day, MTV played music, and back in my day, the History Channel actually had talked about history.
I always did the aughts. Oh, that was back in aught 4, I would say. I love being able to do that. Man, I hope I live to be like 150 years old so I can just keep saying that. Like, well, maybe 150 would be too much.
Like back in the 90s, we actually had history on our History Channel.
My brother still to this day will quote Family Matters from TGIF from 25, 30 years ago. Thank goodness it's Friday, the Friday night sitcom lineup.
That was my Friday.
And Family Matters with Steve Urkel. And there was one episode where someone was like, you can't do this or whatever. It's almost the 90s. And my brother's like, hey, it's almost the 90s. We got to get with the times. And I'm like, yeah, it's almost the 90s.
Yeah.
It's 2020. The 90s was so long.
Yeah, that was my Friday night. If I wasn't at a home football game to watch the cheerleaders,
yeah,
I was either watching TGIF, recording it.
Did I do that? No.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
But I think my favorite TGIF show was Boy Meets World.
Oh, this was even before that had come out.
I know.
Boy Meets World is a good one.
But yeah, because I had a crush on Topanga.
Well, yeah, she's the prettiest girl in the whole show. I mean,
and even when she was a mom and the spinoffs, she's still hot.
Yeah, she's a pretty one. She was so weird at first. Remember how weird her character was at first?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had kind of forgotten about that. But anyway. I get it. Can I do that?
Yeah. But I think the first season was that it was Perfect Strangers.
That was a good one.
The thing. Oh, and the original Full House. How rude.
How rude. Oh my Lanta. When we at work, well, I don't want to get into too much detail, but there's a job we do where we kind of need to look in a microscope and give immediate feedback to some doctors, but we aren't doctors, so we can't give diagnoses. So we have to be really careful to say, I think that this cancer is probably cancer, but I can't prove it, so I can't say that I think it's cancer. But you kind of got to give code words sometimes to say, hey, I'm pretty suspicious on this or that, right? So one of the code words my coworker has is "Oh my Lanta," which is a phrase from Full House, and it's also from the Mylanta antacid commercials from back in the day too. But yeah, the girls said it on Full House all the time. "Oh my Lanta," when things would go wrong or whatever.
What's that, DJ?
I think that was Stephanie. I think.
No, Stephanie was How Rude. And Michelle was You Got It, Dude. At least until she got older.
Maybe, yeah. You got it, dude. I do remember, I forget her name, Morgan, Corey's sister, and
oh yeah, the one that got character change, not character change, actress change.
There's a scene where she's like Corey and Topanga sitting in a tree. A B C D E F G. It's the cutest little thing.
My favorite one was the one we talked about was Topanga was strange. For episode when they kissed, their first kiss, and my favorite line with this says, "Mommy, if my dolly is cold, can I put her in the toaster oven?" "No, honey, that would be a mistake." "Mommy, yes, I made a mistake."
Oh, that's hilarious. I don't remember that one, but that sounds like her.
Then the waterman fight. Morgan's like, 911. Hello? My parents are fighting outside. They just shot the neighbor. Like, Mommy, what's our address?
No, I don't remember any of those. It's been a while since I've seen that, but I don't think I really remember most particular episodes of those shows. I just remember the shows.
But that's probably the nice thing. Sometimes my memory is almost too good about stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I can remember, like when I was at church camp, I was like the best Bible trivia guy. I'm like ding 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 to the first round. Either you got off stage, either you got off stage if you either you answer questions right 4 times, or you answer questions correctly 4 times. I'm like I answer questions and I got off the stage. I'm like, okay, bye everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, that's enough. You can some other people can answer now.
Yeah, that happened I went with a friend of mine to an observatory on the nearby Mount Lemmon here.
Ooh.
And they were asking all these astronomy questions, and he was just answering all of them. And I don't know, halfway through or so, they would ask a question and then say, and I forget how they'd be like, approaching the end of the question, and then you are not allowed to answer, though, and they'd point right at him. Someone else has to answer, and if they can't, then we'll let you turn into that. That friend, Dapper Dino. True story.
Speaking of Dapper, he's gonna
He also got one question wrong, a really easy one at the beginning, but he did make up for it afterwards.
Speaking of Dapper, he's gonna cook a food. But I don't know what food he's gonna cook, but it's a food.
I got a couple guesses on what that food is, but I'm gonna just keep that to myself. So, yeah, I don't know where that MP3 is, and I don't even know how to share it. The Bose MP3. That would be the one I'd want to hear, but that is recorded. I'm pretty sure it's the final version of it. We're talking about recording it ourselves, all this music recently now. So is it a demo? Yeah, it's a demo. It's a demo. Are we going to go to an actual studio? Well, if someone's like, hey, I like your demo, here's $100,000 or $50,000 to record it professionally, we'll probably do that. But that's not going to happen, so we're probably not going to re-record these songs. And the ones that we played on the website right now, those are the ones that we did go to a studio for. Those 5 songs took 2 days, and after all was said and done, the recording, the mixing, mastering, and everything is about $850 for 5 songs. And the ones that we record on our own are $0. It's equipment that we've already purchased individually. So yeah, we can just go in and set up microphones and work and try to record. So
you recorded the tracks separately, or you record them all at one same time?
Well, the way we do it is we do the drums are first, and they'll either. It depends on the band, but for us, it works better with bass guitar. So the drums and the bass guitar kind of play the song together, and it's recording both. But the bass guitar is really a scratch track, they call it. It's just there to let you know what part of the song the guitars are supposed to be in. So after they're done, they're really trying to get the drums to have all the perfect takes and all that with that. So it doesn't take more than one or two usually. And then we'll either add, probably we'll add a rhythm guitar at that point. So the bass track is there, you can play along with it, and the drums are there, but now you've got two tracks. At that point, you probably don't need that bass track. You can erase it or mute it or whatever. Do the other guitar track, then do the bass track, and maybe then you'll do the lead guitar tracks, the solos, and all that. So yeah, it is one at a time, and we did a couple songs, and we're like, the tempo wasn't right, and we thought it was okay, but once everything was recorded, we're like, no, and you just kind of have to start over at that point. But when it's free, and like, okay, so that's what, 3 hours or maybe one practice, that was kind of sort of wasted. It wasn't even wasted. We learned about what we were doing from mistakes, and kind of learn what it sounded like, and make subtle changes to make it a slightly better version the next time.
So you run your Copper Magma socks right now?
I don't have them.
See.
I don't have them. I have the Copper Magma coffee cup and the cell phone case. And
I should get an iPhone case.
I need to update this stuff too, also, because there's way too much on there, and the logos have been updated, and it's
leggings, hoodie. That's good for right now.
Yeah.
That thing.
And your screen share right now is not showing that. It's a different, because it opens up in a different page. Yeah, it's a thing that it's the best way I could do the website through. What do I even use? Wix.com. But anyway, yeah, there's merchandise, and we've sold a couple shirts and a couple things, but honestly, we don't really sell much or expect to sell much. We're not really pushing it either. We have other shirts printed that we take to shows. We just have to sell them all, and then make some of that money back, but that money goes back into the band.
Definitely. Any Copper Magma underwear?
I don't think Teespring offers underwear, but I haven't checked in a while. So there's some drawn logos in here, and that was one of my favorite ones. But the upside down triangle, the people made it, and then they don't like it anymore. And this is all like Sam and his wife working on all this art and stuff, and they make it. I think it looks so cool, and then by the time it's finalized, they seem like they don't even care about it anymore. They moved on, and it's like, well, I like that logo, but then this is the website generated logo.
Yeah, you have like a lot of stuff.
Now the sun is usually a star, not a sun, but it's the Arizona flag. The mountain is the idea it's supposed to be. But yeah, the circle is kind of more of a Japanese.
Yeah, Arizona. One of my co-hosts from season 4 to 6 was from Arizona.
Okay. Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff in there. Like, how many different T-shirt styles do you need? It's just way too. There's way too many options, I think, that are up there. So.
Yeah, pick your choice. 100 things.
Yeah. And the thing about Teespring is that it's not cheap for the end user, because they basically won't print them until they're ordered, and they'll wait like a week or two, and then
homeware, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath, bedding, like towels.
There might be. Click on whatever.
So, yeah, beach towels. Like, you want to dry yourself off with Copper Magma?
What, a $31 towel though? Like, nah. And you can't. And like, you can't edit the price. So if you get one item wrong with that logo, you have to delete that entire store and try to upload it again. And I think they've enabled some editing since then. Like I said, it's been a while since I've
Socks, bags, stickers.
tried, but it's not the easiest to work with. But I do like the idea of made-to-order stuff. Yeah, the end user pays a little extra, but it's no cost to a content creator, or really, you create a logo or a graphic and put it on an item. It doesn't cost you anything unless you want to order one. But
yeah. Well, I think almost Charles are almost up. So besides your tutu next week, anything else you plan for the future?
Not really. I mean, I'm just hanging in there doing the band stuff or practices and doing the Kent with Bents, and we're kind of musically waiting on COVID. Once that is finally, once people can go out in public regularly and like masks are more optional, once we're at that stage in our society again, things might start returning back to normal for doing shows in public with large gatherings of people that are less than 6 feet apart and a lot of time. So
we got third guest. Hello, Brainbug.
How you doing, Brainbug?
And that person's been on my channel before. He was on our race to land video in the air. So that's because the insects beat us both the land and air.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I didn't see that one either. But we're at episode 41. Wow, that's a lot of episodes in a season. But, yeah.
Well, for me tomorrow, I'll be interviewing Steve McRae. A long time.
For the first time.
Yes, and then this Saturday I will be talking with Eric Vierhaller, the Triceratops. We're talking about how great the Disney remakes are.
That's going to be a lot of fun. Eric's a great guy to talk to, and I haven't spoken with much, but man, that Steve has got a lot going on, and I'm really hoping he can get his channel back, Non Sequitur, very soon.
Yeah,
because it's we should be way past the end of this whole thing. And if you guys know what I'm talking about, I'm sure most people do.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, can we just finish it? And it's not his fault. It's Kyle's fault, but yeah.
And then next Tuesday I'll be interviewing David.
Oh, nice.
So I have a very busy week before Christmas.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Christmas, you have a lot of people to shop for, to see.
What are you asking?
Yeah, like I probably shop for my parents, maybe, and then maybe everyone under 18 in the family, all the nieces and stuff.
Yeah, I got 2 brothers, a sister, and then their significant others and their kids, and my mom. Too.
I haven't met my new niece yet, except through video chat, because she was born in January. She's going to come visit after that in March, but then this happened. So yeah, gotta keep baby safe.
Bent, it's a rough time for musicians. We have one in our house too. Hang in there. It's a rough time for everybody, to be honest, and myself included. So, but yeah, you know what? You just do what you do. You express yourself. You write your music, and just keep moving forward. And I will say this. It's a great feeling for me. The biggest accomplishment, the most important thing to me in music as a musician is songwriting. And once you can get songwriting and write a good song, doesn't matter how fast, how slow, how whatever. I don't care how much you love or hate that guitar player in that band. If it's a good song, then you're contributing to society by creating things that weren't there before. And that's what art is to me. And that's a beautiful thing. And I love it when people can express themselves like that.
So is there a heavy metal country?
Probably there was a failed attempt at me and some old friends from my old band from 10 years ago making a bluegrass thrash metal mix where I would be like playing just bass. The drummer from that band would just be doing drums really fast, and the other guitarist we had would be doing banjo with guitar effects, distortions and stuff like that. Just playing as fast as he could. And we joked about it, and then I actually composed the song in Guitar Pro. And we were going to call ourselves instead of the Bluegrass Boys, the Bloodgrass Boys. It's going to be like death and blood, but bluegrass. And
It'd be like cool. Like to see a electric banjo and an electric fiddle.
And I just wrote a little Guitar Pro thing called, I don't even know what I called it. It's not any good or whatever, but like it's just a fast banjo-y based song. So they never responded to it, but like Psychobilly is one apparently. And you know, if you've seen Rob Scallon, I think it's pronounced, on YouTube, that guy does a lot of guitar stuff. A lot of it was like covering Metallica on a banjo and like making it sound really good, and then playing these really cool instruments. And now it's like going to musical history museums and like doing all this cool stuff. And, but that guy is a great guitar player too. He puts out great content, and he also has done some banjo work in heavy metal style and stuff. And he's done a song challenge, write a song in under an hour, write a song without hearing any of it, so you kind of think you know what it sounds like. And like
guys, don't worry. By next year, you'll be playing your band will be playing at the Opry, and you'll be getting a Grammy.
Yeah, right. That'd be so awesome. That'd be fun. Like if I were like a rich and famous rock star, that could be fun. It'd be a lot of fun to play my music in front of thousands of people and have them get it, you know, because that means they get me, they understand me, and that's important to me. And you know, there's a lot of music that's been out there that's helped me throughout my life. Christian pop, heavy metal, oldies, all different genres, right? And if I can do that to one person and like hear about it, like it would just I know you're making a difference. You just want more of that, you know.
You should do a cover of a Mozart song.
Of a what song?
Mozart.
Well, like I said, there's a song by Henry Purcell, Dodo's Lament, that is essentially what Copper Magma's first song is. It's a it's kind of a same note pattern, and it came from an opera.
Nice.
And the one riff did. The other one came from just the dudes writing when I hadn't joined the band yet. But you know, it was hard for them to write. It was a mortician and an accountant that lived across the street from one another. Cool. That somehow got to talking. They were both mid-40s, both musicians who hadn't really played much in a while. I hadn't played in a whole lot in about 10 years or so. I tried a little bit when I first came here in 2017 to Tucson. But yeah.
So check them out, and next time you're on, we can prepare better and get some music downloaded to share better.
And there should be more available too. That's the thing, is like, yes, Bose is finished and complete, and it does exist, I think, on Dapper's channel to some degree. I don't know if he's got the full thing out, but at the same time, Copper Magma wants to release it. And we don't know exactly how we want to release it. You know, we're kind of working on a 10-song LP, but we're writing new stuff without recording the old stuff. We're just got all this different directions we're being pulled in with that. And so I just want to make the song available. I could probably put a link to Copper Magma if I can figure out how to do that.
You should write a full song, a full Dapper theme song, like a 2-minute Dapper, like.
Well, the thing about the Bose theme song is that it basically is his song. It's about first name, I don't remember. There's a lot of people from India with the last name Bose, Bose. and this was one of them. And he was instrumental in radio waves 100 some years ago, and like the kind of astrophysics technology that you could kind of send signals out in radio waves musically, right? Spread it out. That's kind of the theme there. And he also was, I think he had taught some notable scientists, including another Dr. Bose of the Bose-Einstein condensate fame, and the boson, like the Higgs boson, that's named after that guy. So a lot of these people work together. This is, again, 100 some years ago. And the song is based off of him, but I didn't write the title. I didn't write the lyrics. I didn't come up with that. That's all Sam. I wrote this music while people are warming up. I'm just jamming on the guitar, playing this music. It turns into a song, and it has a Dapper Dino clip in it. So the intro makes it about a Dr. Dino who doesn't know anything about dinosaurs, and then the rest of the song is like not really related. So thematically, I don't know how well that works, but it was kind of being pulled in two directions at the same time, and it is what it is. I'm fine.
Nice.
It's a cool song.
So you as we got the idea of the catchphrase you say, you have like ending catchphrase you like to say?
It depends on the mood for the band. I don't really have a catchphrase. It's like, I guess that song needs more wah pedal or something like that. I joke about that, and like that's always a joke I've always done. When I gift subs on Twitch, because I do that occasionally when I'm watching Plants vs. Zombies speedruns, my catchphrase is whoever receives my anonymous gift sub, I tag them and I say, "Get bent!" Exclamation point. And I'm like, wait, no, that's too aggressive. Here's a gift sub. So I just go a little.
So like I said,
pretend like I'm being or something when I'm not.
Like I said, join me tomorrow. I'll be here live at 6 p.m. Central Eastern, talking with Steve, and then right afterwards we can go over the Dapper with Erica. So if you're here, a 4-hour marathon, two shows in a row.
That sounds great. Sounds great. Take care, everyone.
As always, never stop learning and enjoy the randomness. We'll see you then.